so I ask you, what makes the Hospice of the Valley unique? What makes us unique is.
Sure. Okay.
So, first question for my editor, first and last name, and spell it slowly for me.
Leslie, Leslee, Cochran, Cochrane.
And is it doctor or?
MD.
MD.
Yes.
MD. And your position at Hospice?
I'm the Executive Medical Director at Hospice of the Valleys.
Okay. Dr. Cochran, can you tell me, kind of describe for me, what is the Hospice of the Valley? What is it you do, and who do you serve?
So Hospice of the Valleys is a nonprofit, local, community-based hospice that's been serving our area for over 40 years. This is actually our 40th year anniversary. Hospice care is designed for patients who have been told that they've reached the point in their disease process where a cure is not possible and they're entering into the terminal stages of the disease process. And so hospice provides care to the patient, to the families, and then after the family passes away, hospice continues to provide support for the family for the next 13 months in bereavement.
And well, pretty answer. Oh, that was pretty good. Can you tell me, there are different hospice throughout the state. What do you feel is different or unique about the Hospice of the Valley? What makes you stand out or makes you a little bit special?
So California has 1,200 hospice programs, which is out of proportion to the rest of the country. 1 out of every 4 hospice programs in America is in California. So there's no shortage of hospices in California. Hospice of the Valleys last year was the only hospice in the entire state of California that achieved an elite rating from families who complete a survey. So the special thing about Hospice of the Valleys, I think, is that, number one, because we're local and a nonprofit hospice, all of our focus is centered upon providing the very best of care to our patients and families. And out of, if you go on Medicare Hospice Compare, you can find out how many hospices provide service in your area. If you go in our area, you'll find out there's about 110 different hospice programs. And out of those 110 different hospice programs, only a few of them are nonprofit. The vast majority of them are for-profit programs, and they're of course going to be focused on producing results for their investors. As a nonprofit program, Hospice of the Valleys raises funds so that we're able to provide care to anyone who needs hospice without regard to their ability to pay. So we take care of patients from all walks of life. Some of them have insurance, some of them don't have insurance, and we provide, I think, the very best quality of care as measured by families who complete surveys. And the families who receive hospice care complete surveys, and they ranked Hospice of the Valleys last year as the only hospice in California that achieved an elite award, which meant that of the family satisfaction survey, Hospice of the Valleys exceeded the national family ratings in all 24 categories. So that's pretty incredible, considering that relatively speaking, we're a very small hospice program, yet we've outperformed other programs much larger. And I think it's because of the type of people that work here. Their heart and their compassion is all about what they do, and they focus.
Sorry, these masks always get me.
I totally get that.
Go ahead.
The thing that makes Hospice of the Valleys unique and different is that our staff share that vision and that focus, that the only reason we exist is to serve our community. And each and every one of our team members is always approaching each and every family as if it was their own family. And the goal is to provide the kind of care that we would want our family to receive. And that really makes Hospice of the Valleys unique. Another incredible distinctive is that Hospice of the Valleys was started by volunteers. Before there was any such thing as a hospice insurance benefit, in 1982, a group of sisters and other friends in Sun City decided that there needed to be a way for people to receive care at home when they were dying, and they started Hospice of the Valleys. And our volunteer presence remains a key distinctive of Hospice of the Valleys. We have an incredible army of volunteers who provide care directly to patients by supporting them, and they also help us in the office.
Can you kind of describe because there's so many different hospitals. What is the service area of Hospice of the Valley? I mean, is it
Yes.
just Marietta? Is it Southwest Riverside County?
Yes.
How big is your service area?
The service, we have designed our service area for our community, and our goal would always be able to respond to a family member under our care within no more than an hour. So the edges of our service area go down into Fallbrook, they go north up into Lake Elsinore, of course Temecula, Murrieta, and then we go out to Hemet and San Jacinto. And we've restricted our service area because one of our goals is when a family places a call and they need help, we want to be able to respond quickly.
Okay. And what made you decide to locate your corporate offices or your offices in the city of Murrieta? What was it? Was it because it's centrally located to your mission, or what other reasons did you choose Murrieta as a place to locate your?
Certainly. So Hospice of the Valleys was originally founded in Sun City, which is of course just a little ways north of Murrieta. And as we began to grow and we needed to expand and be closer to the patients and the families that we served, we found that a significant amount of our patients and families we were serving were in the Murrieta area, and also our needs as an organization for an appropriate office space. Murrieta just provided kind of the perfect location to put us right in the center of all the patients that we serve, and we're blessed to be in this beautiful business center here in Murrieta, the University of Phoenix building, and it puts us right near freeway access, which is important for us because being able to respond quickly to our patients and families is a key thing. So Murrieta was a great location for Hospice of the Valleys because many of our patients were in the Murrieta-Temecula area, and it's so central to, it's almost right in the geographic center of our service area.
And you can answer this, some do and some don't. How supportive has the city been to Murrieta Hospice of the Valley? Has the city done anything, or have they been supportive of your mission, and if so, how?
The city of Murrieta has been incredibly supportive of the efforts of Hospice of the Valleys, from the department that they have with the senior center and outreach. They've hosted several of our opportunities to provide outreach and education. Several board members have shown up to speak at our events for our volunteers, generously donating funds, personal funds from board members to our volunteer organizations to help them with what they do. And we feel that the city of Murrieta has been very supportive of Hospice of the Valleys.
Anything I haven't asked you that you think is important to talk about?
When a patient and a family is facing an end-of-life illness, that is probably one of the most difficult situations any family could find themselves in. And at that moment and at that time, the people that you choose to be in your home and to take care of your loved one, that becomes a very difficult decision to make, but a very important one. Hospice of the Valleys is a group of people that chose to work at a nonprofit because they wanted the focus to always be centered on the patients and the families. Hospice of the Valleys does some very unique things. We limit our nurses' workload to where each nurse is not expected to take care of dozens of patients, because we find that a nurse, an excellent nurse, can only take care of about 12 patients. These are very complicated patients, so we limit the number of patients assigned to our nurses down to 12, which is very uncharacteristic of other hospice programs. The other very unique thing about Hospice of the Valleys is that we have two doctors, myself and Dr. Stephen Ryder, and this is all we do. This is not a part-time, occasional occupation. We are both full-time dedicated to serving hospice patients, and that makes a huge difference because we're able to do house calls, we're able to meet with the families in person, we're able to also be immediately available so that when one of our nurses picks up a phone, she's going to be talking to a doctor right away. And I think that the results speak for themselves. Hospice of the Valleys, out of 33 different businesses that were honored as a top workplace in the Inland Empire this year, Hospice of the Valleys was the only one of those 33 workplaces that has received that award for 8 years in a row. And our employees rated Hospice of the Valleys as a top workplace because they absolutely love what they do. They love working for an organization that's dedicated to providing the very best care to patients at the end of life.
Good.
Wow.
I think that's it. This is not for the program you've done. Just out of